Alrighty, everybody. This is every time I put out a video, there's always one of these small follow-up videos, and it usually comes from the people on Discord. But this one I started because I've been putting together a new category in the chat, or a new channel, if you want. Um, since I have a lot of beginners here, and most everyone here is taking some other course or another, whether it's TCM, THM, Hack the Box, or Hack the Box Academy. Some people are doing both, over the wire, or in college, taking computer science in college, or whatever. They're getting in some form of computer security, cybersecurity, or penetration testing, bug bounty hunting, or something. And some are total beginners. In other words, they don't even know what a router is. And there's other ones that are beginners, but they're a little more advanced. They know a few things. They've been in school for maybe a year now, or so they have some kind of knowledge under their belt and everything, and they're still learning. And I'm here to just teach. Okay. Yes, I'm going to have a course. It's going to cost money because it's going to be both a video course where you just take a videos like everybody else has, basically. You're going to have a course on C++, Python, all the programming languages, assembly, everything. Every language out there, Go. And yes, I know it all. I use it all. I come in contact with it in my research. When I start a project, or I head down a certain path, um, I don't know what kind of language I'm going to run into. It could be JavaScript, it could be Go, it could be TypeScript, it could be PHP, it could be C++, it could be C, it could be a C. I can stumble onto anything. Um, and that's where I've picked up all these languages. Like I said, once you learn the basics of programming, it doesn't matter. Everything else is irrelevant. Once you know about if, else, switch statements, functions, methods, once you know the basics, you can figure out any other language you come across, really. But I also, when I started this, you know, this this has only been open. This channel has been only going for a couple months now. It kicked off, it went viral, basically. Well, in my version of viral, in May, about the middle of May. Um, is when people started joining, and the channel, the channel's getting views crazy. But I've been planning this channel for about a year before that, year and a half at least before that. And before I started it, because I've seen all the YouTube videos, I've seen other courses. I went through a lot of. You're going to see this here in a minute. I went through every course out there. You name the place. I went, Coursera, Skillshare, Udemy, TCM. I've taken every single TCM. I've taken every single course they've got. TCM Security. I've got certificate of completion for every single one. Again, for those of you that know my backstory, I'm not certified in anything. I know more security than anyone that is certified, but I'm not certified in anything because it's a waste of money for me. Just me particularly, because of the felony. I have a felony conviction that I got back in the mid 1980s, long before I was even thinking about technology and security and computers. So it's totally irrelevant to the field. But there is no second chances in this world. And like I said, the previous video I talked, and I've got other videos that I've talked about that. Um, Having a felony conviction and cybersecurity just don't belong in the same sentence, basically. Yeah, they can discriminate against it, but what are you going to do? They can, they, they're the employers. They're the ones that pay you. So they can say, well, we'll keep your application on hand and we'll call you back. And they just simply not call you back. You can't prove that they're being racist against you because of your felony. They say, oh no, we didn't. We don't care about the felony. Yeah, we would hire him. We would hire him in a minute. You know, but we just, we're finding other people. That we're comfortable, going with right now, and yeah, we just didn't call him back. because, someone else came up, that was better and we were more comfortable with. And, that's all it is. Yeah, we got no problem against the felon. Yeah, they do. They literally do. Um, because, if if something bad was to happen with the company, and, with me not having to do anything with it, just, just if it was to happen and it got into the media and journalists started investigating, well, who these people employ, and they get looking through everybody and everything, and they stumble onto me. They're like, wait a minute, they got this felon that they've hired, and that's, it might not be totally racist against, felons, but that's also another reason where they might do it. They don't want to fall into that trap just in case it was to ever happen. Why do you got a felon on your payroll for? Why did you guys even hire a felon to begin with? So, but anyway, that's why I don't spend the money, because certifications are expensive. You don't get a certification unless you're very confident that you're going to get a job and everything, because it is a money investment. And it's just pointless in my case, absolutely pointless. But anyway, moving on from that. I wanted to take every single course out there. Not really take it, because I'm going through it, but I'm not taking it because I already know the material, and I'm not there to learn the material. I'm there to listen to it, what they're saying, but um, I want my own course, my own labs, from a hacker perspective. That's what I'm building it. Don't put my course is going to be okay. Listen, my course is going to be the best course out there that you'll take. I feel that I'm the best teacher out there to teach this from both perspectives, because I've worked both perspectives. I've been an illegal, very, very bad hacker. I won't say what I've done, but put it this way. That's how I got hired as a Department of Defense contractor. That's how they found me. What I was doing was very, very bad, and they couldn't find proof, to nail me. I knew they were. I knew they were investigating me. They knew they were investigating. Everybody knew what was going on. Everybody knew who was the suspect and all that and everything. They just couldn't find concrete proof to go anywhere with. It was all speculation and everything, and that's why, one, I would say smart subcontractor out there, that the kind of work that I did, the kind of hacking that I did, I should say, really, really fit into their mission statement. What they do for the government, for the DOJ and NASA. This is what they do. This is their realm. And that realm was foreign nation hacking groups. That was one of my specialties. My main specialty was malware and attribution of malware. In other words, analyzing a piece of malware and saying, okay, in my opinion, this is who did this, or this is who's behind this, or this is what this resembles. The type of work that they put out, kind of like a profile, let's say. This piece of malware here fits their profile in a lot of ways. No, not just a little bit, but in a lot of ways. And on top of that, once I tell them that, I can explain it and break it down to them and show them. Am I right? Or, who knows? No one knows. But is my breakdown, and in-depth, or I should say, is my in-depth breakdown on why I think they did it, because too many things fit them. And I got past proof to, back it up on things that we do know that they've done and everything. That's hard to refute. You know, it's hard to deny. So yeah, there's no concrete, absolute, as they say in murder, there's no dead body, but the circumstantial proof is tremendous. You know, and that's the problem. They're like, okay, we're pretty much going to say that this is who did it, and that this is the lane that this subcontractor is in. And they're like, we could really, really, really use this guy. And that's how I got hired. That's how I went from bad to good. I won't say ethical, but good, on the good side. And reason I don't say ethical is, yeah, the good people do unethical things, and this falls under that category of, okay, yeah, I'm doing illegal stuff, but prove it. Catch me and tell me that I am doing. And I was comfortable with this because I was already doing this. I was doing this already. Yeah, I'm illegal, but prove it. So this was my whole main thing. You know, but now I'm on the good side. We can't get caught. And yes, I'm doing unethical things, but I'm doing it for the good side and for national security. And can you prove it? Can you catch me? And no. That's the whole thing about it, is that they had people that were doing this also, the same exact thing, but they weren't going as far as I did because they had fear, and that fear was holding them back. I didn't have that fear because I was past it. I knew what I was doing was unethical, but I was arrogant, extremely arrogant, and hackers are like that. Ethical people are not arrogant like that. A hacker, a hacker is like a Michael Jordan. You know, he's got that kill attitude in him, and everything. And it's like, yeah, I'm fucking good. What are you gonna do about it? And that's the way they are. But anyway, I know most of you people on YouTube are gone by now, but it's my people that like hearing me tell these stories and everything. And by the way, my courses and my labs and stuff that you guys will be paying for, monthly, who knows, $29 a month, whatever it is. There'll be like 50%, and there'll be extreme discounts for the loyal people here in the Discord. They won't be paying full price, but because they're the ones that help get this channel started. So, but anyway, um, I forgot what I was going on. But anyway, that and that's only fair. I mean, they help build the channel. The channel wouldn't be anything without the people that got, that stayed in here and got it started. So they deserve something. And they're working to get into the industry. They're taking the courses, they're going through the steps, and they're learning. So I don't mind that. And the main thing is, like I said, I took all these courses and stuff to learn how to teach better. I didn't want to repeat because everything out there is rehashed. You know, how many courses out there from both YouTube people and school and everything. How many Linux 101 courses can there be where you don't rehash the same, learning the ls command or change mod, or all the stuff that you're going to be learning to learn Linux, everyone, there's you can't, that what you're buying is the teacher. The the material doesn't change. Linux is Linux. That's all there is to it. The commands are there. They're not going to change anything. And what you're buying is the teacher. How much one-on-one support do they give you? How much do you like hearing them, listen to them talk? Do they tell stories and stuff like I do that are interesting? Are they comedy? Are they comedians? And they teach through, being funny and poking jokes and this and that, and you like that, and everything. That's what you're buying when you get a course, is the teacher, not the material. There are some courses that, the more knowledgeable the person is, you'll learn stuff that you won't learn in any other course. One of my what my previous video that I showed you guys on OSINT, that was one of them. I have taken, I took, well, for one, I took TCM's security OSINT course. I got a certificate of completion in it, and I've probably taken about 5 other OSINT courses and everything. And I don't have to study. They tell you, this is a challenge. Here's a challenge for this chapter. Can you do this? I don't spend the time to do that stuff because I already know that I can do it. And I'm just running through the content and listening to it and everything and getting my opinion on it. So if it says the course is 7 hours long, well, it's going to be 7 hours for me, literally, because I'm just going, every video is just start to finish, one right after the other. And before you know it, the course is over. I'm not stopping. I'm not, wait a minute, what did he say? What is that? What does that do? And then I'm going to, going to Google and searching on it and reading about it. You know, for a beginner, a 7 hour course, you know, actually is going to take them probably a week to get through. That's if they're learning, you know, every time the teacher says something that they don't know, you know, go out to Google or Chat GPT, put it in, ask it and learn it, okay, after spending 30 minutes on this, I think I got it now. I think I know what he's talking about, so I can continue. You know, that's how I can go through all these courses quicker than anybody because I'm just going through them. I posted a review, and finally, what is this, 20 minutes or 30? I'm going to show you. And this is not complete. Like I said, I do this in my spare time, and this category was up here for a while. It was private while I was, I would write a little review on something. Then I get back to work, because like I said, I'm building a website here. I'm building a whole business here, with tutorials, labs, a blog, all that stuff and everything. So, and I'm a sole person. It's only me. That's it. I got to make the videos. I got to edit the videos. If there's any motion graphics or graphics and stuff, I got to do them. My courses and videos and stuff are going to be a lot more polished than what you have here on, this is YouTube. I'm free to be myself here on YouTube. And this is what I'm going to do here. But anyway, for those of you that are looking, and those of you who are not members here, and because you're going to have a level 5 or higher to view this channel, view this whole category. So there's a lot of people here that aren't level 5, like all these ones that are just gray. They don't have levels. Like Matt right here, I'll show you. See, he has no role at all. But we go up here. Nico's not here. Let's go down to her because she's a good example to show. I know my alphabet right here. Nico. See, when you go to Nico, she's on the HLS CTF team. She's an advanced 15, an intermediate level 5, and an intermediate level 10. The intermediate level 5 is not shown here. That's the lowest level there is for special privileges on here. And you need to have a level 5 or higher to see this channel. But anybody else on here that watches this video, which you should if you're in my Discord, or just any other casual YouTuber that is still here, by the way, listen to this, you guys will be able to see this. And, we got talking about it, there was a problem with people some people could view it, some people couldn't, there were level 5 or higher, and I had to figure, that problem out. And so, and right here, I say this in the right here is what I'm going to click on. Right here, by the way. Well, let me close this. We don't need this here for now. But you should see right here Skillshare, Pluralsight, CBT Nugget, Coursera, Cybrary, Udemy, Over the Wire, miscellaneous stuff, basically TCM Security, and more will be added here. Like I said, I do this in my free time, and but anyway, about my learning. Nico got talking right here at some point, and she asked a question, for an answer, and I go, "Be careful, looking like you're treading on the edge of learning." Um, this is a problem in Star Wars and Disney is having right now. There are many ways and reasons for asking questions, and many different ways to answer, and pros and cons to each one. For instance, asking a question to just wanting the answer is very bad. You're not progressing. You're not learning anything by that. So, and I say right here, I'm more of the monk type of teacher. I teach using philosophy and metaphors, not by giving answers. Yes, both have their own pros and cons, but I'm the teacher here, and this is how I teach. This is why I tell people that if you prefer to go with TCM Security, then by all means do. or any other anybody else, a YouTuber that has a course, or whatever. If you prefer to go with someone else, then by all means go with what you're comfortable with. I've got no problem with that, or anyone else for that matter, because each one has their own teaching philosophy, and some don't even have a philosophy at all because they just rehash material that they've learned already or read in a book and call it a course. Yes, I've seen that out there from YouTubers mainly. So, should you trust a YouTuber that has a security course? It's probably the lowest one to trust on the totem pole, but there are um, very few good ones out there that do know what they're talking about, at least. But again, that will be in this right here. I haven't listed YouTube, but I will put YouTube on here, and the courses that I've taken from YouTubers that offer courses. But anyway, you get the gist of it. And right here, like I keep telling people, don't believe me. People think on my videos that I'm just talking. Well, thanks to right here, he goes, I like this approach to learning and teaching. You know, but what's the point with with metaphors and answers? You know, when you ask a question, look, I want to ask a question. I just want the answer. Um, there's nothing wrong in it. There's, I got no problem. If you're a child and you're asking a life question, and you want to learn about life, that's the whole point of giving an answer. When you're wanting to learn a very difficult subject like this, okay, this is why there's a shortage in cybersecurity, because they can't find qualified people to do the job. So if you're not a child and you're wanting to get into this industry and you don't know anything, before you even get started, you're going to have a certain level of common sense, critical thinking, and problem solving ability all on your own. If you're 25 years old, well, your first 25 years of your life, so you're going to have developed that already, and it's got to be innate in you for you to get into cybersecurity, or else you're not going to do it. It's going to be too difficult for you. And me using metaphors is the test of that. If you can't get the metaphors, then you're not going to learn. You're not going to learn. You're not going to learn the stuff that you need to learn. For cybersecurity. For hacking and breaking into computers and networks and stuff like that, because it's it's constantly solving problems. Everything you do is going to be a problem. You're going to try to get into a network, it's going to be a problem. You're going to be faced with one problem, then you solve that, then the next thing you do is going to be a problem. You got to solve that. Then the next thing is going to be a problem, and you got to solve that. Solving problems is all that you're doing. And if you're not good at it, then this ain't the field for you. So let's just say, let's take the metaphor of just giving a person an answer versus a metaphor, using a metaphor, what they do in Star Wars. Let's say, as an example, when a Padawan or, someone asks a Jedi Master a question, they don't give an answer. They give a metaphor. And the Padawan has to think about it and figure it out. So, what are the pros of a metaphor? Well, it encourages critical thinking, for one. Metaphors compel learners to think deeply and interpret the message that you're giving them, and this can foster critical thinking and problem solving skills. Um, it can also encourage imagination. Metaphors can make learning more engaging and memorable by connecting new concepts of familiarity and experience, life experiences. Like I said, if you're 25, well, you've been alive 25 years and everything, you should know something by now. Um, and that's what you would be basing, your solving the metaphor on. Uh, it promotes personal growth. By interpreting metaphors, individuals, often can relate lessons to their life. Like I said, 25 years of living. You should have, some kind of lessons that you learned in those 25 years, you know, and that's what you're basing on your personal insight and growth. And it also gives you a universal understanding. The more The more that you've done at 25 years old, the better off you'll be. Now, me, like I said, if you watch my past videos that I have 20 plus, I think up now, I have done a lot. Uh, and in 62 years, I've done more things than most people in the world will do in a lifetime. So, my insight and growth of my life and everything is very vast. You know, I've been homeless. I've been in prison. Um, I've done a lot. I've done really a lot of things. Okay, so and like a monk. A monk would have done that also. He would have experienced and done things like that. Um, I've seen a lot of cultures. Like I said, I'm in the process of learning 32 languages. Right now I've been in that process for like the past eight years, and that's introduced me to different cultures, and how their language has evolved and why they speak the way they do. With country invasions and because that's how language is built. That's how dialects and stuff are built. When countries and stuff merge into one, you're going to get dialects from that, and everything. But learning the history of it and everything, and again, this broadens your insights and broadens your growth. Um, the problem with giving answers, well, there's pros and cons to that too. Now, one of the cons about metaphors, I didn't go over that. So, metaphors can be ambiguous. In other words, they're going to be open to multiple interpretations, which might lead to confusion and misunderstanding. So all you basically accomplished is you taking a beginner or a learner, let's call them beginner might be a bad word today in 2024. You've taken a learner and just confused them even more. So yeah, when you're using metaphors, this is why you got to be. This is why monks are good. When you're using metaphors, you have to know on what's well, I don't want to say that because that's just going to confuse them even more. It's a metaphor, but it's too advanced of a metaphor for them right now. Um, so yeah, a lot is put on the teacher. Whether you learn, it is not the material. Like I said, you can get 10 teachers to teach the exact same thing, and each teacher is going to have a different passing grade of students because of just the students. Let's say each teacher had, let's say, 25 students. Um, there's going to be a percentage of them that just don't get it at all, and a percentage is them that pick it up like right away, like nothing. But the majority, the 80% that lies in the middle, are going to be varied. And those are the confused ones, which is the majority of your class. And that has to do with how you taught. How did you teach them? Did you confuse them more than they were before they even got in your class? And that's where that lies about misinterpretation. And metaphors require background knowledge. To understand metaphors, learners often need to have a certain level of prior knowledge or cognitive development. Um, and it's not prejudiced, when you say this, look, this is not, you're not capable of learning this, and everything. And it's not being prejudiced or anything or detrimental to them. I got to extenuate that for the woke crowd here in 2024. Your cognitive development just not maybe you grew up in a abusive family, which is going to greatly stifle your cognitive ability and your creative ability too, by the way. I know we're getting into psychiatry and philosophy and everything here, but like I said, one of my other channels is 62 Polymath. I'm a polymath, which means I know a great deal about many different topics. And yeah, psychology is one of my things that I love studying. So that's why I draw on that sometimes. And that's why I'm good at teaching, no matter the subject. I teach filmmaking too. I teach music also. These are my other YouTube channels that I have. I teach Blender. So that's why I'm good at teaching. But anyway, let's get on to answers. People might be wondering, well, what's the problem with asking a question and getting an answer? Well, the first pro to answers, I should say, like I said, this is more pertains to children. It's a literal answer. It's it leaves them little room for misunderstanding. It provides clear and direct information. Like what color is the sky? Well, it's blue. Okay, that's pretty clear. I can understand that. Um, what is color? Well, now your kid is maturing faster than he should be, because now he's asked a question that he's not really old enough to get into yet. If you want to answer it correctly, and color's not really a color. You know, and again, I'll stop there before I digress down that rabbit hole. But look it up, guys, gals. Another pro of it is efficiency. In situations require quick learning, or when stakes are high and direct answers can save time. It also helps in comprehension. You know, if you're saving time, then you're comprehending quicker. Well, you're learning faster. Um, and again, this does not apply to people learning cybersecurity, because again, we are talking. Even though you are a beginner or a beginner learner, um, you're embarking on something that is extremely complicated. It's like saying, look, I know nothing about flying, but I want to be a pilot. Well, we're getting into a lot of, advanced things. We're getting into physics, aerodynamics. We're getting into a lot of stuff here that you're going to need to know first. So you've got a long journey ahead of you. And it's not going to be easy. These are not simple topics. You're not learning to work at McDonald's here flipping burgers, you know. So that, yeah, there are two different worlds, right there. And it also, answers give you a foundation for building, especially in early education, like I said, children and stuff in technical fields and stuff like that. And by yes, cybersecurity is technical, but it's the more advanced side of technical. When I said technical, I'm talking about, first take a CompTIA course. Learn what a router is, learn what a switch is, learn what a network does and how it operates and everything. Learn the levels of the OSI model, basically. Learn the hardware first, you know, and then everything. You're a long ways from getting into cybersecurity, but see, people today want things quick. Well, okay, nothing wrong with that. Um, if you want to know quickly as possible, you want to jump all that stuff or learn it as you go, as they say, you know, on the job learning. Well, that's fine. But my question to you is, are you capable of learning on the job? Again, this goes back into your cognitive ability and your life lessons that you've learned at whatever age you are. You know, do you have the ability to be creative? Do you have the ability to have cognitive development enough to help you out in problem solving? Or, were you raised in South Africa, deprived, of water and food all your childhood and everything, two different situations there. And, I could say you were in a rich family. Well, rich families can be abusive too. Just because they got money don't mean nothing. They got money. Well, that's the only reality in that is they got money. It doesn't change anything. Cons. What is the problem of giving answers? Well, like I've already said, limited critical thinking. Over reliance on literal answers can stifle creativity and critical thinking. As learners might become lazy, let's say, or accustomed to passing absorptions of information, okay, that sounds good, and they forgot about it already, that kind of thing. Also, dependency. They can get dependent on, well, you know what, if I don't know it, I'll just ask the teacher. Well, that's not progressing your career or your ability. It helps the teacher, yeah, but it does absolutely nothing for you. Dependency, it can create, dependency on how, referring to somebody instead of you figuring it out on your own. This is where, individuals might rely on external answers or external factors, and everything, rather than developing the ability to think for themselves. If they're asking you for the answer, well, they're definitely not going to read a book, because you giving them the answer is much more quicker. And for them to pick a book up and read it, well, that takes effort. And, oh my God, that's beyond me. I ain't going to go there. Well, yeah, cybersecurity is not a field for you. I can tell you that right now, and you might as well just leave. You know what is a field for a career for you? And I'm not being insultive here. McDonald's, fast food. There's nothing wrong with working at fast food. I did it. There's nothing wrong with it. You can make a living working fast food, not a good one, mind you, but you can make one, and if you're happy with that, that's fine. Again, freedom here in the U.S. We got the freedom to do what we want. Um, if it's working at fast food and just enjoying life and partying well, go for it. Um, Giving answers also gives a lack of engagement. Literal teaching methods can sometimes be less engaging, like making it harder for learners to stay motivated, let's say. You know, well, you know what? If I can just ask a question and get an answer, you know, I mean, how motivated do I have to be to learn this, really? I've got someone that provides me the answers all the time, you know. So, that's, just in an overall, you know, thing of it. Now we can get into taking a look here. Um, just to show you what's here. And like I said, I want to get rid of all the fluff, all the people on YouTube that, you know, should be gone by now. And now I know that the people that are still here are basically anybody that's listed here in this channel is still here listening to this. Skillshare. Yes, I took the CompTIA one. I took the Windows Server Administrator for Beginners. And yeah, these are all beginners, by the way, because like I said, who's my audience? My audience are beginners. So naturally, if I'm going to watch courses and stuff and judge the teaching and everything and the format and all that stuff and everything, I want to be watching courses that they are going to be watching themselves or purchasing, since Skillshare is a paid platform. Um, Pointers in C, that's okay. That's not beginner, but there are beginners do want to get into programming, and C, C is the most popular language. So yeah, beginners will have to get into C at some point, and pointers give them a very big problem. It's hard to understand even for intermediate people. It's hard for them to understand it. TCM security, like I said, um, I've taken every single course they have. So uh, I don't have them all in here yet. What do I have? Let me see. Practical malware analysis triage. Okay. Windows forensics. Oh, I've only got 2 in here. Okay, yeah, I got a lot more to put in here. But something I want to say, because I see this on Reddit also. If you are thinking about TCM security, this is why I labeled this important. TCM security has a lot of gossip, talk, controversy, whatever, around its training, courses, etc. And understanding some of it, Reddit is all about saying that it has copied all the training and everything from e-learning. And I'm going to mark my spot there. And, if you look at their courses, like I say, I'm jumping ahead in my article here. I say it somewhere. Right here, yeah. E-learning has their EJPT right here. Um, TC Security has their PJP. Basically, you just replace the E with a P, and they have the same exact certifications as e-learning does. I'm going to say irrelevant. What I'm thinking here on this. Look, there's no bad learning out there. Well, unless you get one of the YouTubers out there that, like I said, are just rehashing information from a book because they need to make money, and they figured out basically how to scam people. Look, I can read a book and make a video on it and everything, and by the time I'm done with the book, I have a whole course. You know, that well, that's literally on the job training right there. And how you can know it is, well, one, I should say, one of the clues that they're doing it is, and again, you would have to be like me, but everything that they're teaching is literally from the book, or another course. You know, they're not teaching anything that is not taught in another course. In other words, this is, like I said, this is why I took all these courses, because I want to find out on my own, because I'm new to this, cybersecurity teaching and academy stuff. What makes my course different than anybody else's? Well, I want you guys to go with me because, for one, you trust me. That's the biggest thing. That's the number one thing above all else. You gotta trust your teacher that he knows what he's talking about. One of the ways to do that is to teach things that no one else teaches, and to teach in a way that no one else teaches. And explain yourself. Don't A lot of teachers do what I just said about answers. A lot of teachers just, give you ask a question, they give you an answer, or they give you an answer in the class, and they're hoping that you don't ask a question. They're hoping that you just go through their teaching, what's on the chalkboard, do the homework, and pass the class, even if it's with a D, and you're out of their hair. And the next semester comes in and they start all over again. That's what they would really like, because spending time with students is literally that. It takes time. You got to invest time when you spend one on ones with students. And teachers don't have that much time to spend. So, yeah, there's the problem when it comes to that. But learning is upon you. Yeah, you might have made a mistake and chosen a wrong course, but if you've already dropped $200 or whatever it is that it costs to do it, you're already out that money. Yes, you might be able to file for a refund, and you're going to fight. That's not going to be easy. This is why they have customer service for that hardly ever answers your call. You can't contact them through email. They say you can, but when you send an email, you never get an answer back. Adobe is good at this. Apple is good at this. But anyway, I'll get off of that subject. That falls under business practices, but really not much different than this, really. But anyway, um, you get the point here, and you probably read this. Like I said, hopefully you've read this or took a screenshot of it, because I don't want to read the whole thing out to you guys, and you guys won't be able to see it, for one, because this is the only place you're going to see it is in this video. Um, you don't belong to the chat, so you won't see this right here. And if you do belong to chat, you'll have to spend 2 months or 3 months to get to level 5 to even be able to see this. So hopefully you guys saw that and you're on your own. And literally, right here, see, this is the teaching, right? I on the Windows Forensics. As for Windows Forensics, yes, he doesn't use the standard tools that you might have heard of on, if you watch TV shows or read the news, on, forensics that, have caught a criminal or something, and they explain, they used in case, or whatever. Well, that's an expensive ass program. If you're a beginner getting into digital forensics, you're not going to you're going to be using open source tools, because you just don't have the money for that kind of stuff. And there's nothing wrong with open source. I use it. Again, this falls upon you. You know, any kind of learning, it all falls upon you. And this is because a lot of those cost money. Some of them a lot of money, like in case, like I said. Remember, we are teaching beginners here, and they need cheap tools or free ones, preferably. And that's what you see right here. This is what he uses: Arsenal Image Monitor, FTK Image, the Eric Zimmerman tool set, Cape, Reg Ripper, Event Log Explorer. And there's a GitHub where you can download Eric Zimmerman's tools and install them, and you'll get all of this in one download. This is a whole thing. And it's kind of like what TCM Security teaches. When you install your Kali Linux, they're going to give you a link to Pimp My Kali. And all you got to do is, it's a Git repository. All you got to do is download that Git repository and install it. And it installs all all the tools that you're going to need to go through TCM Security's training. Um, in one go. You know, you don't have to do any installing or anything yourself. You know, pretty much every single tool that you'll use in any of the courses um, gets installed by that one download. But anyway, um, that pretty much covers it. Oh, missile! I want to get missile. I'm not going to get into the other ones because um, you're going to have to be serious to get into the other than Udemy, Pluralsight, CBT Nugget, Coursera, Cybrary. These are on the more expensive side. They are better courses, um, but you know if you're gonna spend the money on those, you're probably serious and everything. And yeah, my insight when I put these down are going to be a little more in depth than these short ones here. On Skillshare, one paragraph or so, um, because they're more of an investment, and everything, and I want to give a more detailed analysis of my opinion on the course before a beginner purchases it and spends the money on it. But with that said, this is the benefit of coming with me, being one of my students. And when my course opens, like I said, I'm in the process of building it. But when it does open, and you can see right here all the roles that this course, this section right here is approved for. But and like I said, you don't have to go with me. Like I said, my income channel, this is not my sole source of income. Like some of the YouTubers out there, all they constantly do is promote their course because that's all they have. So yeah, I'm just here to help people, and if you appreciate it and you want the help and everything, I can take you a long ways as far as knowledge. I'm going to be able to teach you stuff that you won't learn anywhere else, simply because they don't teach it. And like I said, I'm not here to teach you. I'm here to teach you to be the best that you can be at cybersecurity. Both sides, red team and blue team, hacking and ethical hacking and unethical hacking, because that fits into blue team and red team. If you're on a blue team, well, you're gonna have to defend against a red team. Well, in reality, what is a red team? Well, a red team's supposed to be unethical hackers. They're not, because you're learning cybersecurity in a controlled environment, and hackers don't work in a controlled environment. Hackers do whatever the fuck they want to do. So that's the reality that you're going to learn in my training. So my training is not going to be something you put on a resume. Oh yeah, I learned, I learned my cybersecurity stuff from so and so's website or course. No, I would not recommend doing that. But if you want the knowledge, and everything, just so that you know, it can be a part of your arsenal of knowledge that only you know. And to other companies, when you're applying for them, they're like, man, they're like, you're better than any other, new person, that we've hired. We don't know, I don't know how you know so much, as from a beginner, where you learned from or who taught you, but you know a lot more than you should, and that's a good thing. Just don't tell them where you learned. That's all. And with that, guys, I'm going to have to close this. This is all I wanted to say to my student, my people. I told the ones that are here, Nico and they knew I was going to make this video, but the other ones don't yet. So with that, I'm going to close this one down. And like I said, who knows when the next video was up? If you guys are waiting for my course to open and for you guys to jump in and get taking it and excited about it, well, then I need to spend time doing it, which means videos are going to be scarce, you know. So with that, guys, I will see you all next time.